Right, I've got my script. Ha ha. Hardy ha. Hello and welcome to today's video. I thought I'd come to a different scene for a change. Oh, what a shame. Oh, you can see a bit of it. Nice little backdrop. Makes a change from a TESCO's car park. Yes, I thought I'd stop here and give y'all an update. Yes, the weather is typical October weather, in that it's heavy rains and heavy winds. Hear that? It stops and starts. I think in an hour's time it'll just be sunny for a couple of hours, or kind of sunny or dry. As for the winds, I don't know. I didn't scroll down enough on the weather app. Not on this one, but on another device. I could do something about this screensaver. It keeps on timing out. Anyway, going back to last Tuesday then. Just filmed the vlog. I edited the one before that using the Kdenlive video editor. And of note, on an eatery front, I had a BBQ chicken pizza from a superstore. Listen to the radio on TV. Playing solitaire during the export of the video. And fell asleep on the sofa. Oh, I see, right. So I went out earlier in the day, came back, edited, hit the export, had the pizza, and then what is customary is to have a nap. But didn't I fall asleep on the sofa? I must have been playing solitaire. Yeah, that was probably... Anyway, that was Tuesday. Well, this is quick. We're straight into Wednesday now. And I suppose it carries on from Tuesday night, falling asleep on the sofa. I therefore went to bed in the early hours, but I couldn't sleep because I'd slept on the sofa, so I was awake. And carried on playing solitaire, as well as Free Cell, and a game called Unblock Me, which is really moving certain bricks around vertically and horizontally to create a space out of the square you're in. Yep, and also I think and a Room Escape app. Oh, I downloaded a Room Escape app, which had about 3 or 4 games on it. And of course, then the sleep caught up with me again, and I fell asleep. And an hour after the export, because it takes hours and hours, so an hour after that I got up and uploaded the video, which you do. And when I'm exporting, I like to keep everything free. I've got a quad-core processor, and I like to use all 4 cores or threads if it's a Unix video editor such as Kdenlive. I like to use all the cores to do one thing. I don't know if it really works. Kdenlive doesn't look at the I don't think it has hardware acceleration or encoding, or makes use of the GPU, which would be handy because you've got a CPU, and with the GPU it's, you know, all guns blazing, but not with Kdenlive. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is once the export's gone, I can then do other things, such as transferring the last batch of clips. It's starting to steam up in here. I would open the window, but it might get a bit windy. We shall see. Oh, I'll have to talk over it. In fact, it's getting more steamier. Maybe not. Yes, was that what I did? I'm just improvising and I shouldn't be. Transferred yesterday's clips across, or the day before's. So whatever I filmed on, remember I said I filmed something on Tuesday? Well, that footage got transferred as soon as the export was done. and then I went back to bed and played the rest of the escape games on the app. So, rock and roll lifestyle here. And oh dear me, it says here I downloaded DaVinci Resolve and I think this is a typo. It says I've installed Kdenlive. I must have uninstalled Kdenlive. And it says yeah, I don't know why I did it. The last time I downloaded DaVinci was an idea I had about timeline resolutions. Sort of playing with low timeline resolutions for smooth playback, and then reverting back to a timeline as per the resolution of the clips prior rendering. But that was a disaster. It crashed, or it lagged, or whenever there was a transition it crashed. So I don't know why I did it this time. Must be my fondness for DaVinci Resolve. I can't remember why now, it says here. Anyway, after that I say I tested a 4K clip. Tested the 4K clip, was happy with it, had ideas, set up 270p. Oh, so I'm going back to a low resolution timeline. This time 270p, which is what I use for Kdenlive. Whenever I proxy Kdenlive 4K, I can then preview it down to 270. So how do I do set up 4K? I wonder if I deleted these notes from last time. I think I'm going over old notes here. Oh crikey. I think I have. Oh, what a mistake. I don't know if I mentioned it. If I haven't, I'll might as well treat it as a recap. What? Am I scrolling down too much here? Sing along a buzz. Forest. Went back to bed whilst proxying and played the. Oh, this is a disaster. Played an escape game. Went back to bed whilst proxying. Played an escape game, and again I couldn't finish the game in bed. Had to cheat. That is, I had to consult a walkthrough video. I learned how to do it. The answer being was to rotate shapes so a square turned into a diamond, etc. Explained why the two right angles were pyramids. Blah blah blah. What a lot of. I just thought I was grasping for content, as they say. Then I had one game left, and then I could uninstall it off my phone. But this game was tedious in that the others were in one room or had a room and a bathroom, whereas this one had a door, obviously, but it led to another room, and that room 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 led to the exit. So I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to keep having to solve puzzles in one room, then puzzles in another room, and so on. But it wasn't too bad, because what I did was I went right to the end, and to my horror at first there was 8 puzzles to be solved. I thought, oh my gosh, so there's 8 in this room. I did a quick not walkthrough, so to speak, but an actual quick survey of the rooms to see what the situation was like. I didn't see any drawers, but there were stuff there that might be like drawers or hidden drawers, like a picture. If you click on a picture, you see a puzzle pop up, and once you resolve that puzzle, you can then turn the picture around and there's a clue on the back. Or a tile, because you have to collect 8 tiles to add to the rest of the tiles that's in a painting, and then you have to rotate each tile so it becomes a picture, and then it gives you the key and you're out. So I went to this last room with the 8 puzzles, and decided to work backwards, and I realised that this was the major room, and that the other previous rooms had 1 or no puzzles at all, maybe clues, like you see a teacup and a saucer, and you click on it and suddenly the saucer and the cup moves aside and it reveals something underneath, like a number or whatever. I can't remember now, because this was a week ago. So anyway, so I quickly found the 7 of 8 puzzles. The 8th I had to cheat. It's so silly when you hear this. It was 5 weather symbols with numbers on it, 1 to 5 in fact, not random numbers. So there was a sequence there, I thought, and I think it was to the clues were for a number puzzle. So you got a 4-digit number, and that you had to find these 4 numbers. So I thought, oh, it's a case of 1 to 5, finding the order of it. And these weather symbols were typically a sun, cloud, rain, thunder, so on. And I thought maybe it's in order of weather, you know, the sun hits the cloud causes the rain, or the sun hits the cloud, it causes the thunder, then there's a rain. And I thought, okay, take the numbers, excuse me, in that sequence, and that's your answer. But it wasn't. It wasn't. And of course it's a 4-number clue, and there was 5 symbols, so obviously 1 was a red herring. But I had to cheat, and the answer went all the way back to the first room, and I didn't think nothing of it, but for some reason, anyway, in room 4, because it was the first room, and I thought, oh, I don't know what the design is like, I didn't pay much attention to the 4 tiles. There was a carpet split into 4, like a check or 4, and I thought it matched the walls of the room, so I thought it was just something aesthetic. I didn't think it had any purpose. Of course, I'm watching the YouTube video on how to resolve it, and of course it closes up onto the carpet, and then I paused it straight away thinking, oh my goodness me, as simple as that. And that was it. Once I did that in the game, it brought up a combination of symbols, like if you I think each tile had 2 symbols, so you added those 2 symbols up, and of course you got tile 1 had this sum, tile 2 the same, 3 and 4, and then of course they had the 4 numbers, and out I went, and I was able to uninstall the game. So I could kick myself. I normally click everything, but it didn't occur to me to click on the carpet. And sometimes you should click on the carpet because a close-up will reveal codes like this. And I've seen it before. But normally it's a rug, you know, a patterned rug I'd normally click on, but not 4 little tiles that had the same colour as the wall. It was just a... But yeah, I normally pixel hunt, but because it was the last game and I've been in bed playing these games, I just wanted to... I wasn't in the mood to... I ran out of patience and memory cells. Thinking cells. Even now I'm starting to zap. Keeps on screen saving, sorry about this. So, with the proxy still running in the background, I was able to watch it remotely on the smartphone. Just to keep a check on its progress, and while it was still going, I thought I'd work on the shooting script for the next vlog. And wow, as it was gone 4, this does sound like last week's patter. The next vlog, and as it was gone 4 PM, I thought it best to get up. Quite. How nice it would be to go out and film it. But the proxies had finished. And I let Windows update itself and decided to edit the vlog. So was there a vlog that day or not? So this is DaVinci Resolve, and the tiling was still laggy even at 270p, the lowest of the lowest res. Need I say more? So it's still laggy. What do I do about it? It's obvious. Did somebody say no in the background there? No, don't uninstall it. Well, I did, I'm afraid. It says here I edited 95% of it, but stopped as it had got... Huh? Okay, so I persisted with it. I edited 95% of it and stopped as it had gone at 2 AM. So I went to bed and listened to Radio 4 Extra. I always find that if there's a play on, or people talking or whatever, talk radio, but not possibly confrontational talk radio, I can what? It sends me off to sleep. I've listened to podcasts where I've just fallen asleep, so they do work. You don't need these videos of a rainstorm or waves crashing. It's the next day, or the same day, but because I got up, it's like a new day. And it's Thursday this day. And I got up at 8:30 or so, I think, and finished the edit using another video editor. Now, I would normally say Kdenlive, but I didn't use Kdenlive. So what have I done? I've installed Shortcut. I always find that if I've wasted a lot of time for one reason or another with an edit, or the time is getting on, I can trust Shortcut to do a very fast proxy, a very fast export, and a very fast export. That's it, those two things. But on the drawbacks, it's not as graphically user interface friendly as the other two, but it's not too bad, as I might explain later. Yes, because later on I'll mention, oh, it's a spoiler, and maybe I should come to that when I come to it. I think the keyword is upgrade or beta, alpha, beta. It's not German beta, it's the Greek alphabet beta. So that's a keyword to look out for in the future, in what's coming. Sorry about this. I've got the keyboard up, it's taking up half the screen. See? It's taking up half the screen. In fact, I've scrolled down too much. Naughty. That noise you're hearing, you probably see the car go past in the background. I hope there's enough space for them. I've come to a point where there's not much traffic. Anyway, let's get on with this. Have I lost my face? No. Have I lost my face? Have I lost my place? So, finished the edit using Shortcut. 75 minutes. What? 75 minutes. I don't know if that's how long it took me to edit or how long the video was. I think it was how long the video was. I actually beat my record last week of nearly an hour to going over an hour. So yeah, 75 minutes. And anyway, I watched the playback, all 75 minutes of it, and it was laggy, and that's because oh no, have I blocked the van? Typical, isn't it? It's a cul-de-sac, yet there's a blooming delivery van. Anyway, I can't do... yes, it's laggy, but the reason why it's laggy is because is because, and I said I wouldn't tinker anymore because of the Windows, the fun and games I had with Windows operating systems and Linux operating systems. I wouldn't tinker with what I think should be deleted. Well, I'm being unfair on myself because what I do delete is logically deletable because it's in a temp folder. So somebody told me at work to put %temp% into the run box, and this opens up a temp folder on the hard drive, and you can clear out whatever's in it, and thereby freeing up some resource. And that's what I've been doing, but somehow Windows crashed, so I have to tread carefully. So far, this Windows operating system that I downloaded as an ISO image system operating, that I downloaded and installed from the internet rather than from factory settings, has been working without any problems. Sorry, bloody screen saver. Right. So here why am I talking about? I've got this. It's laggy because there's been a Windows update, and normally I can delete it. It ends up in the temp folder or in the disk cleanup, I should say. I want to first of all clear out what's in the %temp%. Then I want to disk cleanup, and you see a list of things that's going to be removed because it's going to get rid of it and clear it all up. And one thing on the list is the Windows update something. Maybe I've written it down here. Nope. It's to do with there's been a Windows update. It's either it's installed it but needs to be removed, or it's been downloaded and it's waiting for installation. I think it automatically deletes it anyway, as I soon found out. So there were some Windows updates there, totaling 3 gig. My laptop's only got 4 gig, so 3 of that was gone just on these updates, just sitting there. So I tried to remove it, running the disk cleanup, and I couldn't do it. Because I know from experience that if there is a Windows update when you're doing a disk cleanup, the little blue bar will find it. It says Windows Update Removal or something, and it stops, or it takes ages. In fact, I did let it run once and it never stopped. So it's forbidding me to delete it. But what I can do is cancel the disk cleanup, untick the Windows update, and then do the disk cleanup and delete everything else, which is really small fry. Anything that's a megabyte on my laptop is really small fry. So I'm stuck with this 3 gig and a lagging laptop. And then I decided to ask myself, if I had Kdenlive, I can play at 270p, the really low res, and there'd be no lag, even with 3 gig sitting idle on my well, not idle, but waiting to be removed. Where Shotcut can go as low as 360, and you can see the difference. So that's the question I was asking myself. I said, well, let's be fair. I said to myself, no, let's be fair to Shortcut. Let's test Shortcut again before the Windows updates have been removed. And then once they have been removed, because at some point it will be removed, test the lag again. If the lag persists, then maybe Shortcut is the way to go. Kdenlive is the way to go. So after the hour 15 playback, so this confirms it was the video was hour 15 long. I ran the render. Oh, so although it was laggy and I watched it, I still have to export it or render it. So I ran the render or export. Now DaVinci and Kdenlive, they call it render. Shortcut calls it export. So that's why you have to use both terms. They both mean the same thing. So while it was, because it's Shortcut, I'm going to say export. I had sandwich. Was it a sandwich? I had 2 brown bread toast and coffee, and watched my last 2 videos that was at the time. Numbers 1087 and 1088 to be specific. Before going out and filming today's video. And I think the superstore that day was Sainsbury's, which means I don't know, I fancy their chicken jalfrezi curry. Then I realised the next day was the 15th. So it was unwise of me to have a rich meal when the next day was the 15th. And the 15th is the takeaway day. So while I was in Sainsbury's, I just got an extra can of baked beans. Because I got a single can of baked beans, and I thought I'd get 2. Because I wanted to get chili con carne in a can, but they sell it for 3 times the price of everywhere else. So I thought, no, I won't get chili, I'll get beans. Oops, what's going on here? Undo. Oh, I thought I deleted something just by scrolling. Right, and I also downloaded a voice recorder app on the Motorola phone and tested it, doing what I'm doing now, reading off Google Keep Notes. And because there's a little white symbol there, means there's a microphone on. I'm using the microphone on this. I'm breaking the 4th wall, which I shouldn't do, but I like to be transparent. Because you may have noticed the dialogue audio lately has been a bit. What it is, it flatlines to the bottom. It goes dead. So I have to ramp. I think I've mentioned it. I have to isolate that range and then lift the volume paddle 20 times more. So although it's okay, and then it goes not. It keeps the volume, but suddenly it's the volume. The voice is the same, but also the other sounds were amplified as well. So you get the hissing It's very noticeable. I'm surprised nobody commented in the comments about it. So I thought, I tested it on here. It was quite clear, and the Motorola is a really good phone. Even though it's an old phone, I can't use the video on this because it's the highest resolution is 720 by 1280 by 720. So it's barely HD. It's HD, not UHD, not FHD, which is the standard 1080p, and of course you've got UHD, which is 4K. Now I think the way maybe if I've been holding this so that it's covering the mic, then I've defeated the whole object. So yeah, I had to just do something about the phone. I've got a big crack on it, and I've been dropping it here and there, and it's been picking up more cracks, although the camera still works, and luckily the stabilization is not faulty. The microphone is, and I can't make I can make phone calls on it, but I can't use the speaker. If I use the speaker on speaker, the receiver, the whoever I'm calling can't hear me. So it is faulty. But if I don't use speaker, I can just about get away with it just as well, because it's the only phone I have. I don't have a landline. Well, I could use, because I've got broadband, I have got landline, but I don't use it. I don't know how to incur the calls. I'm thinking, well, who needs a landline when you've got a mobile? You don't need two phones. But these broadband companies are crafty. They seem to think that if they lock you in, if you use their Wi-Fi through the telephone cable, they can lock you in for the landline as well. So it's a bit crafty, that, I reckon. Very crafty. So yeah, I'm hoping this will make a huge difference. And it says here, I must remember to clap loudly so I can sync both devices. So I didn't do that, but I can tell by the waveforms on both where to. And I think I was going to say, well, Kdenlive and DaVinci have a auto syncing option. Shortcut hasn't, so I'll have to. Well, the whole point of the clap is if you see a big spike, you just line both of them up and then mute the other device. Right. And this is in post-production, in the edit, sorry. Post-production. Right, the export, in the meantime, gave an ETA of 4 PM. Well, it didn't give me 4 PM. I had to sort of add its ETA to the time, and it worked out to be 4 PM. But it finished an hour later. I thought I was going to add something to that, but I'm not. I may have covered it previously, that even though it says 4 PM as an ETA, you have to add an hour, because that last 1% is doing maybe parallel processing, so it's probably going back and putting in some gaps, I don't know what, images. So yeah, it said 4 PA but finished at 5 PM, and that means I had to upload it. Then I thought I'd be transferring, but I'm not. I'm uploading, so I went straight into upload to YouTube, and had beans on toast and coffee, and carried on watching the Elia Kazan directed, Gregory Peck starring Gentleman's Agreement. And I finally got to see John Garfield in it. And would I say it was a cameo? It seemed like a cameo, yeah. Yeah, he had about half a dozen scenes. And it's the first time I've seen a John Garfield film. I mean, I know what he looks like. I've heard about him. And of course now I got to see him act and his mannerisms and really get a look at his face. And I kept thinking, wow, he looks like how Mickey Rourke used to look. You know, when Mickey Rourke was in his heyday. So that was an observation. Here we go. So what happens when you upload? You copy the clips across. When I say transfer, I copy. I don't move clips because I've got a USB cable that's very delicate. As soon as I plug it in, it detects it and then it undetects it. And if I've learnt the hard way, it undetected itself after a while it was moving clips, and I lost it. I lost the clips, or it renamed the clips. The names for the clips were all mixed up. It was very bizarre. It was in a different folder according to the laptop, and a file, a clip of this size had a different file name, and vice versa. So I don't move, I copy, and that's a tip to anyone really. Learn from my mistake. And whilst I was copying these clips and had I seen the rest of the film? I must have done, because I went straight into, is that loud? That scraping of spades somewhere, or cement mixer. So I must have seen the film. While the clips are being copied, I watched Only Connect University Challenge, which had Sussex University as one of the teams. And that's all I've got to say about that. And another recorded film, The Fury, made in 1978, or released in 1978. And I recorded that because it's directed by one of my other favourite directors, Brian De Palma. It starred Kirk Douglas and Amy Irving. I don't remember anybody else in it. Yes, I do. John Cassavetes, he was the baddie. And Charles Durning. So there was a couple of faces I did recognise. I think Charles Durning is a De Palma regular. They've made at least 2 films together. Moving on. That's another thing you hear lately, isn't it? With that being said, anyway. What about the film itself? I think with De Palma, it's more about quality over content, context over content. Visually it's impressive, but as a story, to do with telekinesis. So this is 2 years after we made Carrie, so there was a similar thread here. I mean, Carrie, I think, not broke box office records. I think it was a box office success. It was a small film, and of course he was able to do any film he wanted. Probably was told to do another one along the lines of telekinesis. But this one, even though Douglas was good in this and was in almost every scene, it was either him or Amy Irving in the film. I was left speechless. Not that I was in admiration of it, but what did I just see? Yeah, I wasn't even sure if the context was any good either. Right, so remember I said about an hour ago, I said let's stick with shortcut. Let's test the lag before the Windows removal, update removal. That's a Freudian slip there. And then test it afterwards. And here we go. So I made the decision that I will stick with shortcut, because when the Windows update removes itself, and 3 gig was freed up, the playback was smooth. And I had a note to myself that when I do a disk cleanup, make sure the windows are updated and it's removed from the disk cleanup before you run the disk cleanup. So it's now part of the routine of disk cleanup. I also noticed, but this, on the D drive, which is an external drive, it's a little USB flash drive that gives me 128 gigs of storage. I had a lot of DaVinci Resolve cached files on it. Now I'm jumping the gun here. Pause. Oh yeah, and then make sure you pause the Windows updates as well once you've run it, so that it doesn't interfere with the edit later on. Now these files that I was copying over, they took 7 hours. I know it's bizarre, but that's because I was running 2 things at once. I was also deleting these DaVinci cached files off the D drive, the external flash drive, and it was deleting thousands and thousands of cached files. So that explains why it took 7 hours, I guess. So when that was done, once the stuff was copied, I was able to proxy these clips using shortcut. And as I said before, it's really fast because it uses a hardware encoder. I don't know if that's the GPU chip as well as the CPU chip, but it must, because it's an Intel QSV driver that it picks up. Intel QSV Quick. So at this point, sorry, spittle. I've got a gap in my teeth there, a bit like Terry Thomas. I say it away. You frightful shower. Sun's coming out. So, well, right. So the proxies was done, and at 1 o'clock, which is early for me in the morning, I went to bed, which brings us to Friday. Up at 9 o'clock, straight into the edit, which took 3 hours, watched it back, and hit export. How about that? We're really moving forward now. Let's get a crack on. No breakfast, as Friday, being the 15th, was kebab day. So I was kind of fasting or whatever. So it's a late shoot in order to incorporate picking up the kebab. What's he up to? He's talking into his phone. They're not going to gang up on me, are they? He's out of his car. He's not looking at me. Nope, so far. It's not all about me. Oh, I mustn't whistle because of copyright. Blah 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 blah. So late shoot. Time for them. Incorporate the kebab in the shoot. The video's already up. You must have seen it. The 15th of October. I do date my titles. So it's a late shoot, but not yet. In the meantime, I had a nap and read Inspector Grace. What was it? Dead Man's Grip. After 4, went out and filmed the video. Had the kebab and chips. The export had finished after 4.5 hours, and this was a 75-minute HD video, 1080p. So that's what I mean. Ready for upload. Resource free to transfer today's lot. Then the proxies. Still using Shortcut, and as I write, I'm still using Shortcut. Oh, was that a spoiler or was that a spoiler? It was it was 11 p.m. so I had a Cornetto-esque ice cream. It's like a Cornetto. It's a clone of an ice cream cone in the Cornetto style. Fell asleep watching YouTube. Probably a Linux. It was a Linux podcast. I went to bed at 2. Gosh, that was a quick day Friday, wasn't it? Well, I remember saying I went to bed at 1. And I went to bed at 2, so that was in the space of 5 sentences. Saturday, woke up at 6, did the pre-production for the day's shoot, and went back to sleep. Or tried to. Didn't add anything else to that. But I did have a spag bol ready meal. Sunday, I've been using Shortcut to edit, and you may have, I don't know if you've noticed, I said I downloaded Shortcut when I gave up on DaVinci, but I didn't mention not uninstalling DaVinci. I thought I'd uninstalled it, but I hadn't. And DaVinci is a heavy program. It needs a couple of gig to work. So I had this 2 gig that I could have deleted by uninstalling DaVinci that was sitting on my hard drive. But I didn't notice it because Shortcut was really good. So it was so I was surprised that I could free up some more gig. I also had another spag ball ready meal. Monday, which was yesterday. Today's Tuesday or Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday today. So Monday, I finished off the Inspector Grace novel, Dead Man's Grip, and started the next Inspector Grace novel, Not Dead Yet. I have to write this down, Not Dead Yet, because I keep saying not yet dead. It's not dead yet. Not dead yet. Not yet dead. Now I liked Dead Man's Grip because it had a New York mafia family, a hitman coming all the way to Brighton to do these hits. But Not Dead Yet, what I've read of it so far seems to be about a celebrity who, well, is brash, I suppose. And why shouldn't the celebrity be brash? Well, that's the story, because it rubs other people's faces in. Well, this person's had such good luck, success in music, success in her social media, success in becoming a film star, success in choosing the next role which could earn her an Oscar, and it's causing upset elsewhere where people are struggling to get on in acting, and this person just walks in because she's a singer. It's that sort of mentality. But although I'm talking about it as if it's good, and it probably is good, it's not a page turner at this point. I'm only, I don't know, 30 to 40 pages in, if that many. So it didn't grip like Dead Man's Grip. Moving on. Watched a lot of weird videos on Blender's video, in brackets, sequence, in brackets. I'll say that again. Blender's video, open bracket, sequence, close bracket, editor. Since the recent upgrade. Because I had tried Blender before, and I was pulling my hair out because I had issues with the audio and video not synchronizing. But because I believe the coding is quite old, really old. So this upgrade was interesting. So I started watching videos on that. Liked what I saw, and I'm tempted. I was tempted to try it. However, Shortcut is really working well because of the fast proxying and export. There's no nonsense. You go straight in, it's done. You know, it's not bells and whistles. But then again, what is bells and whistles? It's Kdenlive. Doesn't have a VFX. It's got a few effects like rotoscoping, but Shortcut is getting there if you know how to use it. But DaVinci has bells and whistles because of it uses it's got a VFX program built in. Not Kdenlive hasn't. That's where Blender comes in. If you want to use VFX, you use Blender. That's like Kdenlive, it's open source and 100% free. So I'm sticking with Shortcut. So, although the benefits, in addition to the benefits of fast proxying and exporting, it has these really time-saving keyboard shortcuts, which means, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at myself. Sorry about that. I could have chosen a better. Hopefully you couldn't appreciate the windmill in the background. Keep screaming. I keep. So in addition to the fast proxying and exporting, it's got these really handy shortcut keys. Every edit has shortcut keys, but Kdenlive doesn't have a ripple delete. It will have in the future, they promised, but Shortcut and DaVinci have ripple deletes, which means you can once you've added a clip to the timeline, you can go like 2 seconds in and say, well, anything, you've got the playhead to mark the point you're 2 seconds in, and you can say, well, I don't want the first 2 seconds, let's delete it, and close the gap. Whereas Kdenlive, you can delete it, and to delete the gap means you have to select it and delete it, so there's more steps to it. With ripple delete, you put the line, you say, well, okay, what is a shortcut? It's Shift I, so it deletes that 2 seconds and then moves the rest of the clip to where it was. So it follows on from the previous clip, so it's really handy. And also you can add things from the clip monitor to the timeline. So once you put in your in and out points, you can just press A and it adds it to the end of the timeline. So it's really time-saving shortcut. So, and I've been sticking with it. This was Monday. Almost complete lag-free playback, as I keep saying. Decent low-res proxy look at 360p. It's therefore better quality than 270p. So it looks better. I can see, you can almost make out words in the video at 360p. It's normally 540 once it's proxied, but when you add preview scaling, it lowers the quality a bit more to 360. So it's a decent look for a low-res proxied previewed scale down. Right, beta, there's the word, beta. A beta test had been released, so I thought this is what I do, not so much with DaVinci. With Kdenlive, I used to, before I start the edit, or before I do the proxy, I'll make sure there's see if there's a new build, a nightly build. There's always a nightly build with Kdenlive. They've got about, the number that comes to my mind is 500, but it could be as little as 40. There's a lot of bug fixes they have, so there's always a daily build, and this is what puts off this has put off one person from using Kdenlive. It's because if you go to the bug report, you see a whole list of these bugs. At least they're open about it, you know. Shortcut, I don't know. You don't see a bug report. Maybe there is one, but I haven't come across it. So what am I trying to say? Right, yes, okay. This is what I do. So with Shortcut, they have a daily, if There might be a daily build. It's like a daily build. They have it as well, but not as often as Kdenlive. And of course, this one cropped up on the GitHub website, which is where software programmers come together to work on the same application or software. And there was this beta test one, so I downloaded it, and I've scrolled up and down too much. Yep, this was Monday, so I downloaded it and used it on that day's edit. Lost my place. Sorry about this. Now, what's significant about it is it has a marker tool. It's like a bookmark that adds. Supposing you're on the timer and you think, right here, I need to come back to this point and do something. Maybe take a screenshot or whatever. Like how I create my thumbnails. I think, oh, I need to put a bookmark here. This is the thumbnail. I don't want to keep moving it around a bit and lose my place. So you can, now it's got a marker, so it puts a little green flag where I am, and it saves me trying to remember where I am. So it's very useful indeed. That wraps up Monday. Now we're on to yesterday. More of the same. Edited. I filmed a video. I've decided to mix it about a bit. You get these, I do these talkies once in a while. Mostly it's just shooting in streets in 4K. Sometimes I don't have music as a background. I have a natural background. Sometimes I have, and I don't mess around with the manual focus. I don't mess around with the manual focus. So it follows on from here. I don't want to really give away the tricks, but I do try and keep it fresh in that respect. It's not always the same. So for 1, 2, 3, try to think. So you've got a talkie video, and you've got I'm giving away my tricks of the trade here, my gimmicks. But they are different. What I'm trying to say is, apart from 4 videos out of 7 is not streets shot in 4K in focus. But now I've added a new thing. So Tuesday I've had an unscripted vlog, which means, okay, I know where to start, I know which superstore to visit, and I know how to end it. The unscripted bit is the clips in between, which is currently, according to the time, it's already exported. So when I get back, I should upload it. So it's, oh, I like that husky voice. I tune into Magic FM. I should never digress. I said it before and I'll say it again. Do not digress. So this unscripted vlog, it added a few more scenes, not that many. I think it added 5 more scenes as a result. I thought it was pretty good because I noticed the idea came to me is when I'm going from A to B, I think, oh, I should be filming this A to B. This is more interesting than A and B. You know, it's the in between. So why not have an unscripted? And I do get, and I mentioned this last time, I am getting shooting script writer's block. It was pretty bad the last few times. And I was not bedridden, but I was in bed trying to figure out pre-production on a video, and I ended up getting up about 4:30 in the evening. So yeah, unscripted vlog is a new element. That video, as I said, is actually exporting. It will be up tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is the 21st. So look out for, yeah, there'll be a video released tomorrow, 21st of October, with the date of, I think 15. No, that's wrong. 19. Doesn't matter. Never mind. I think I'm talking too long. I'm tiring myself out. Oh. Right. Moving on. So I watched the day before's Only Connect and University Challenge. I had beans on toast. Later on I had cheese and sandwich bread sandwiches. And in the evening, when I should be going to bed, I started catching up on recordings, and happily they were these Lauren Hardy shows I started recording off the Talking Pictures TV channel. And this one I saw was a silent, not a talkie, and it had Jean Harlow in it. And after that I started watching one they made outside of their heyday, because they, in the late 20s and mainly the 30s, they were on fire, Lauren Hardy, with these shorts, 20-minute shorts. I think one reel is 20 minutes anyway, I believe. Have you ever seen an old film where if you look carefully, you see a crackle in the corner? Which corner is it? Probably. You see like a burn mark in one of the corners. Oops. And that tells the projectionist to change the reel. So a little clever little bit of knowledge there that I've passed on. Prompt, I've got the prompt here. You're not going to believe this, but I've been talking for 1 hour, 15 minutes. Ouch. But hopefully the audio will be much clearer. You will notice it. I'm sure the police are going to turn up in a minute now saying, he's been there for a whole hour in the car, what's he up to? So yeah, their heyday was in the 30s, and I might have to bleep out that expletive just then, if it was heard on the soundtrack. So Lauren Hardy, yeah. So this Silent was a single reeler. It was a silent. I like their silence. I've seen clips of their silence, and I always wished I saw a silent one of theirs, and I got to. And after that, as it was only 20 minutes, there was another one. I got a whole line of them filmed. It's like I did a record series. So anyway, the next one was a feature. It was just about as long as this very clip, an hour 15-minute video film. Oh dear me. Irony. So they had a feature which was over an hour. It was made in 1945. So as I said, it was outside of their heyday, and they've aged, and they put on weight, and the routines weren't. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. It was painful to watch, so I stopped it. But I know the next one, it's called General Hospital, is a 1930s short, and I know I've seen it, and it'd be very funny. Which brings me to now, between yesterday and now. I did the pre-production for today's video in bed, I think so, yes. And I thought I didn't want to do them. Oh, the weather was pretty bad. I looked at the weather. It said it was going to be like this at this time, so I thought I won't go out and film it. I'll edit the video, and it was a really smooth edit. Not much gimmickry, I don't think, although I do like the opening and closing transitions. It has more significance. Let's say theatrical is the word. Don't need to zoom up anymore. The recording has stopped. Oh, crikey. When did it stop? An hour back ago. No, it's still. Oh, wait a minute. Is it still recording or not? When did it stop? This is disastrous. It was going all well. Well, as I said, I've been talking for 1 hour 20, and this one stopped after 1 hour 5, so I've got 15 minutes of. You're going to hear crackle now, I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. I saw the symbol there thinking it was still recording, and it let me down. I'll have to go into the review for that and say, look, don't have it on the screen if it's not recording. No, it's recording. But what's the point? I'm going to wrap up now. So yeah, did the edit, watched it. I always watch it back with a snack. I normally have a lolly, but I've run out of lollies, so I've got chalk ices. So I had a chalk ice while I watched the playback. Then while the Windows updates are paused, there were none to remove off the disk clean up, so I ran a disk clean up, removed 10%, and ran an optimization, logged out, count to 5, logged back in, and then kicked off the export, which finished about 45 minutes ago, I reckon. This is not good viewing. Hopefully, just keep a watch that. That's beautiful out there. So you can't see the top of the windmill, but I'll see what I can do shortly. Is it? Oh, it's recording, yeah. Going hoarse. I think that's a sign. Whenever I go hoarse, that means I've spoken enough already. Now, where is my Google Keeps gone? Right. I don't need this anymore. I'm up to date. And that's it. As soon as I've kicked off the export, I thought it'll be by the time I do my bit to camera, it should be nice weather. And if not, and so you can see, mainly you can see the windmill. So here I am. That's it. We're up to date now. What's next? Watch Low and Hardy when I get back. No, upload and transfer the footage straight away. That is if it has worked. I can't connect remotely because I haven't got anything open. It's using 4 cores, using 4 threads of the whatever processor. Therefore, I don't want to have things like the Wi-Fi working in the background. I've got the battery plugged in, so there's no problem with it discharging. And Sidetracked, sorry. Again, I'll have to beep out that expletive. So, yeah, here I am after all that. So up to that later on, probably have a cheese and sandwich bread sandwich. I do like that. Less is more. I find that when I have it with crisp, it's not necessary. Just the tanginess of the cheese with the buttered brown bread and a hot coffee, not hot coffee, but coffee. They say you mustn't have hot coffee. They say you should let the coffee rest before you have it. And yeah, it's enough. It's enough. So that's it now. Then I have no. There was something to. Oh, I think my Discovery Plus free 12-month free thingy bob is coming to an end, but there's nothing on it worth watching. I had a quick look yesterday because when I had an email notification to say welcome to 12 months free, I snoozed it because it's Gmail. I can snooze these emails for like 11 months so that a month before it expires I can be prepared. But I think it's going to tell me to pay. It's not going to just roll into a payment plan. I know Wentworth Prison was on yesterday at 10. I turned over, it was on, or it was recording, so I didn't watch it. So I've got that to watch. And that's it, not really much to add. So now I've got your attention. I just want to say, if this doesn't help your insomnia, then you've got a problem. Having said that, thank you for watching this video and all the other videos. It's appreciated. I don't get to say thank you because my other videos are so impersonal in a way. I need to fill that up, I think. So yeah, thank you for everything, for watching, for subscribing, for commenting. There's a couple of people who comment who I think are robots. They write gobbledygook in my comments, and when I come to read it, they're not there. Yeah, in the Creator Studio, it says you've got a comment. When I click on it, I can't see it. So what's that all about? Is that some sort of clickbait? Well, I don't know, it's curious. Tap, tap, tap. Did you hear that tap, tap, tap? That's me doing this. Forgetting it's a microphone I'm using. Again, finding it hard to close off. I've said the thank yous, which I mean, most sincerely, folks. If you remember Huey Green from Opportunity Knocks. All that's left for me now is to drive off. This is actually scene 2 of possibly 9 scenes, and the second scene is come on, nearly there, hour and a half. If you think I'm going to cut this down, I'm not. I'm not the sort of person to do jump cuts because that's what you know. Feel free, when you don't see my face, that's when it's a shooting video, so you've got the freedom to scrub along to the front-facing camera recordings. Oh, I'm breaking so many fourth walls here. It's unreal. Alright, yeah, well, once again, thank you, and I'll speak again next time.